Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominions 4. Now let me start by saying this is not my next major Let's Play. That's still a little bit of ways off, maybe this weekend, but what this is I want to try something a little different alongside my regular Let's Play. There's a lot of nations in this game, and many of them are quite unique. But you don't need 12 hours of Let's Play to really get the feel of a nation. So what I'm going to be doing is, alongside my main LP, I'm going to be playing other nations, unique nations, for short little 3 to 5 video blasts. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them exactly. Nation showcases, perhaps. And just kind of get you started on different nations and show you some unique ways of playing the game. So without further ado, let's get started. I've decided to, for this game, since it's going to be very quick and small, to use a map I got off the forums named Reka, or Reka, by the user Turbana. It's a beautiful, kind of almost fantasy general-esque type map, and it looks perfect for what I'm going for. I'm also going to call it, well, I guess I'll spoil it and tell you who I'm going to be doing in this first little showcase. Lemuria. Lemuria is a late-age nation, and it's what becomes of Ermor. Well, of Scalaria. It's a complicated story, but basically, Lemuria is a nation of ghosts, non-corporeal undead. And by non-corporeal, I mean there's not physical parts of them. They're not like skeletons with bones. They are spirits, they are ghosts. So many of the troops are ethereal. Another thing that makes the nation unique is that they do not recruit like a normal nation. You do not load them up in castles. Instead, they are all free spawn or summoned. So let's go with random, that's fine. Normal AI. Well, it's difficult, why not? And this map is for 3 players, so let's go with that. Okay, so we're going to be playing this strangely. We're just going to... I have a plan. It's going to be very toned down. In my test game, I didn't even cast one battlefield spell. I mean, except for what my priests were casting. I'm going to go with the Prince of Death, and I'm going to give him a bunch of death, and also a bunch of astral. And I'm going to go with Sloth. It's going to be freezing cold. Death 3. I am going to give myself luck and magic, because you live or die as this nation by your death gems. Luck will get me a ton of gems. Sometimes it won't be death, but I'll be able to alchemize them. And magic means that my mages have more powerful researching. In this case, they get 3 research points extra in my Dominion. So where are we at? Okay, 190 points. Let's push the Dominion a bit. And he's going to be awake, of course, because I need him immediately to start summoning troops. You know, we need money, and I'll tell you why. We don't recruit any troops. Nothing that we recruit costs money. But for some strange reason, despite being a nation of ghosts, the only place the best troops of this nation can be recruited are in provinces that have a physical temple and a physical castle made out of stone. So ghosts only manifest in stone castles. But, okay, and you need money for that. So let's see. Well, we don't need that much money. I suppose I could take another magic path. I don't really need to. No, it's too expensive, really. I guess I can just get more. Alright. That's fine. That works for me. This is what I'm going to do here. So, this is going to be fun how synergizing this is. You can do a lot of things with just one focus. So let's get started. The name of my god is going to be the Ghost of Christmas Future. Now, if any of you are familiar with A Christmas Carol, you will know where that's from. All praise the Ghost of Christmas Future. Okay, first things first, we live or die by our gems, so even though the late age has a reduced sight frequency of 35, I'm going to bump it up to 55. Heck, why don't I bump it up to 60? Let's get crazy. This is just a couple videos, why not? Random events, normally I put them as rare because they get annoying after a while, but I'm going to put it as common in this game because I have great luck and most of the events are going to be in my favor. Research is fine. Thrones, okay. So we're only going to have 3 level 1 thrones, and you know what, let's just go. Winning gets you all of them. Or you need all of them to win. Renaming totally allowed. This is only going to be like 3 to 5 episodes, folks, but if you would like, comment in and tell me if you'd like to have a commander named after you, what you'd like the name to be. I think I'm going to do it this way instead of just randomly picking people who comment, because that way I can just be sure it's what they want, and it'll be easier to track if all the comments are in the first video. Okay. Alright, we've discussed this. There was chaos, the Pantocrator's gone. Or actually, there was chaos, then the Pantocrator came, he put everything to right, he took care of everything, but now he's gone, and chaos once again returns. This has happened numerous times, because we're now in the late age. Okay, first thing you'll notice is, as I said, we cannot recruit any troops. There is nothing here. You'll also notice that we start with 2 leaders. There's Ariadu, which sounds like he belongs in my previous Let's Play, and he is a Lemur Centurion. Now, these people are called Lemurs, which I find hilarious. In fact, if I were the developer, with my sense of humor, I would have this like a special summon spell that summons lemurs. I mean like little lemur creatures that are ethereal and maybe have fear, maybe fly, maybe breathe fire. I don't know, something crazy, but unfortunately not. In this case, we basically just have your typical Roman army, only ghosts. So get to know our little Lemur Centurion, because he's probably the last one you're ever going to see. I don't take much stock in recruiting them. These fellows, the Shadow Tribunes, are level 1 priests, and they can lead 80 units, and they free spawn along with the troops. So when you have temples in provinces, they will just randomly appear, which is very useful in the late game, as you'll see why. So let's kind of talk about what's going on here. The nation of Scaleria, after the nation of Ermor fell apart, they no longer needed their living dead to fight with. So what they did was they used them for labor. But the Thaumaturgs, or Thaumaturgs, they got complacent and they started focusing their mind on different things, and the people were like, hey, wait a minute, you were really helping us. All these undead were making our lives better, and now our lives aren't better anymore. What are you guys going to do? And so they decided to cast this amazing spell where they were going to open up a gate to the land of the dead, to the land of the spirits, and utilize all that to make the land bounteous and wonderful, right? I mean, opening up a gate to the afterlife, what could possibly go wrong there? So they do this, and all heck breaks loose. The ghosts come out, and there's this evil god, the ghost of Christmas Future, who takes over everything. Scaleria is destroyed, and now it's a haunted wasteland of spirits. And that is where we are now. Okay, so one thing you'll notice is your priests have the ability to call spirits. The more powerful the priest, the better spirits they can call. Dispossessed spirits just randomly appear everywhere. They're really kind of worthless. They don't even do any damage. So I call shadows. Ariadu is just going to hang out for a second. And I could name him as my prophet. In fact, in my test game, I did. But I am not in this instance because, just like with there are level 3 priests that this nation has that could be bumped up to level 4, which gives them a lot of good benefits. So let's introduce ourselves to our cast. All of our leaders can be recruited right off the bat. They're Conjuration 0. We have already seen a Tribune. We've already seen a Centurion. So we might as well... Well, I want to show you a Consul first, since they're my favorite, but we don't have enough gems. But we get 15 a turn, so we're just going to hold tight. I'm going to have him research, and all we're going to research during this entire video, folks, is Conjuration. Why? Well, because I'm not going to need very much magic. This nation spawns troops like you would not believe, but Dark Knowledge is good, finds out death sites. As you go further down, and this is generally a spell that's too expensive to be useful, but in this case, I'll take it, because we just need any kind of gems. I don't care what they are. It's called Akashic Knowledge. It basically costs 25 Astral Pearls and will allow you to see any magical sites whatsoever in an entire province. So, in this case, since my guy is heavy in Astral and heavy in Death, it's worth it. Finally, as you get further down, you have some cool Death summons, which we may or may not use. Then we have Well of Misery, which is a global spell that gives you 20 Death Gems a turn, and what it also does, paradoxically and strangely enough, for a nation who's trying to destroy all the living, is it makes life better for everyone else, and it gives them increased taxes. Who'da thunk, right? And then finally we have some interesting stuff at the end, but I don't even know if we'll even get that far down the path, to be honest with you, in the short length of this Let's Play. So, let's go about ending the turn. Now we have 30 gems. We are going to summon our consul. I love these guys. These are my main troop carriers, my main warriors. They do everything for me. They're good stuff. We start off with the Campus Scalaris, which gives you 15 death gems. Other than that, your usual stuff. Temple, Laboratory, Fortification. One thing worth noting is that I have a death dominion, but even if I didn't, your dominion kills people. 1,284 corpses. So, worth noting, you are not going to be taxing people a lot. So I needed that, basically that luck domain, fortune domain, to get some extra gold events and some extra gems, because we're going to need to be building a lot of temples and a lot of castles, and they cost some money. You'll notice in my army setup that we're already getting these troops. Now, all fort provinces, it might be a fort plus a temple, give you your spectral legionnaires. In this case, a spectral Hastatus, which is the spectral version of the Hastati. And there's a spectral version of everything. The Principes, the Triarii, the Standard Bearers. The higher level ones you see a little bit less frequently, and the Velites as well. They're the most common. That's these guys, Spectral Velites. And they're going to be my main bread and butter because they're ethereal, and they actually do real damage, unlike the ghosts. And then, of course, my summon shadows. They're ethereal, sneaky, dark power. They do better in total darkness. They float. Other than that, nothing too special about them. They have a paralyze attack, so they don't actually do damage, they paralyze. I am not going to be tactically excellent in this at all. I'm just going to have everybody attack. Attack closest. You know, maybe between videos I might get a little crazy, but for right now that's what I'm going to do. And I'm waiting for my consul, so end the turn again. Okay, here's my consul. Your consul has this nice shiny bronze armor and purple clothes, I guess, but other than that, he's ethereal. He is immortal, so if he dies in your dominion, he will reappear in your capital. And they all come with a chill aura. He also creates fear, level 3 priest. Not for long, however, we are going to become prophet, which will make him level 4, and I'll show you why that's a good thing later. So who we want next? Well, I'll show you a senator. Why not? So we're going to have a senator next. This gentleman's still going to defend. And we'll end the turn. I know, we're not doing anything. We should. We will. Here's our senator. Unlike the tribune, he is a level 2 priest. And so basically all that means is that he can call better spirits. In this case, shade beasts. Apparitions are pretty cool. They're you have to sacrifice 100 people to create them, and they cause disease wherever they go. They're alright. I like shade beasts a bit better. I probably won't get another senator ever again either. Okay, we're at 20. Can we get a... So we've gotten all these guys. Let's get an acolyte, show you what that is. An acolyte is your basic mage, and for my money, he's the best researcher this nation has. His research ability is almost as much as the thaumaturg, which costs twice as much. So now that we have Alator, who is our prophet, and I didn't rename him, so our prophet is going to be Alator. I'll deal with that. Here's some Triarii, so you can see them, and some standard bearers. Any Principes in here? Really, the name of our capital is Berkey. We are the most unfearful undead ever from the dark lands of Berkey. Alright, so here's what we could do. Obviously this guy... Oh, sorry folks. Got a little ahead of myself there. Obviously this guy can cast spells, priest-spells, like our other priests, but these should be a little different, right? And they are. They're all a bunch of unholy stuff. Now you see a ton of stuff here. Don't get overwhelmed. It's mostly the same spell, just at different levels of power. But what we really want is power of the Shadelands. This infuses the whole battlefield with increased movement, speed, and attack skill. Well, all undead beings, which is everybody. So that's very important. Next, we want protection of the Shadelands. The whole battlefield gets extra magic resistance. Boom. Then we have Unholy Blessing. Rather useless, in my opinion, since only the higher level commanders are sacred. none of the troops are, as far as I could tell. So I don't use that. And then Unholy Power, which is unnecessary because we've got it with Power of the Shadelands. So that pretty much nails it. Unholy Protection is just protection of the Shadelands. The only new thing is Anathema. Well, what's Unholy Command, actually? Okay, you can command an undead being to serve you. Well, they're all serving me anyway. Anathema curses an enemy priest and a small group of holy enemy units. Why not? I mean, we don't really have anything else we need to cast. So this is going to be the main. You're going to be seeing a lot of this, folks. This is going to be my main order of battle. I'm going to save it as Control 1. All of my consoles are going to do this. Okay. So let's see what we can do. We have some long dead horsemen. Well, against these guys, maybe it would be interesting to use Unholy Command. Maybe I can turn some of them into traitors. Alright, so let's do this. We're going into there. You can see as our domain spreads, all of our deathy goodness is spreading along with it. We're at 5, so we're just going to sit tight. Ariadu's going to sit tight. He can't really do much. The rest of these guys are calling certain beasts. And we're good to go. End turn. Alright. Battle of Chutobe. Let's look at this. And as we get along, I'm not going to be showing all the battles because it's basically the same thing. It's just a bunch of spectral Roman-type folks killing things. And despite being ethereal, they are surprisingly fragile as well. So there will be lots of casualties, but I'm not worried about that because this is the Zerg Rush nation. We're just going to load up tons of troops every chance we can get. We're going to have troops being ferried from one location to another. It's going to be wild. So let's do that. Power of the Shadelands, protection of the Shadelands, and finally, protection of the Shadelands again. No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. No, why not? Convert them! Why you no convert? Anyway, quickly let's look at our guys. I mean, they're very cool. I love these sprites. They have little skulls on their spectral shields. They are cold resistant, which is great because my domain is full of cold. They are also amphibian, which means they can go anywhere. They're not poor amphibians, let me say. They're amphibians, so they're just as good underwater as they are above it. They don't need to eat, of course, so it doesn't matter that my domain is full of nothing. Okay, already the luck is coming to our help. We have Etimu, the Wraith Lord. Let's look at this fellow. 3 death, 2 priest, poor amphibian. He has fear, also immortal, also chilly. Death curse. Anyone killed by this being will risk being cursed for the rest. Oh, sorry, anything killing this being will risk, because I think death is pretty much a bad curse already. Okay, cool. He's just going to sit tight like everyone else, and he's going to call... Well, he might be better as a researcher, to be perfectly honest. Okay, and here is our first mage. This is our Lemur Acolyte, and he has 1 death and 1 holy. They all do, as far as I can tell. There's no randoms. And his only purpose in my armies is to research. He has 10 research, and as they get more experience, it will go up. So that's what they exist to do. And Ghost of Christmas Future is going to research a bit himself until we have some more gems. Alright, so here we are. I'm not going to build any province defense anywhere, unlike with The reason why is we're killing everybody. It's just kind of silly. You can only recruit province defense for every, I believe, 1 province defense for every 100 population. And yes, I could beef it up right now to like 60 and then kill off all the population, but that's kind of gamey and I'm just not going to do it. So there you go. Let's go down here. I would probably rather go here, but there's no connection. So that's okay. As long as we're conquering territory, what we need really is money, not necessarily resources. And we're not quite there yet. Ariadu will... He'll just store the troops for right now. In fact, one thing that he can do that would be very helpful to us to get some money... Oh, and here's our Shade Beast, by the way. I like them because they actually do real damage, and they also cause, I guess, some poison. Unlike our regular Shadows, who just paralyze. So, we're going to have him come here. And why is he going to do that? Well, he is going to pillage, which I haven't shown you much in my Let's Play, but it's a way of getting some money, killing population. And yes, that's what we're going to do. So as you can see, this is moving a lot faster than my previous one. Oh, they've already claimed a throne. I should take a look at that. I should see where these thrones are. I don't want to lose at the last minute. I mean, I don't care if I lose or not. I'm just here to show you this nation. I'm not going to play this to final victory, but it would be kind of lame for them to win right off the bat. Okay. Knights versus Spectral Legionnaires. Take one. And I should have re-put in the Anathema spell, or Anathema, because obviously that spell didn't work before. And they're running. So we only lost 4 guys. We're still looking quite nice. We're up to another level of conjuration. So yes, we're going to have him pillage, which kills population and gives us gold, and it will tell us how much population and gold we're getting. Okay, wonderful. He's already a hero. Alator, what kind of hero you are? Tough skin. I like it. I'll take that. In my test game, he got unequaled obesity yet again. That seems to be the very special trait that my friends tend to get. Okay, let's get us a... Well, I could use an expansion army. We'll get a console first, and then we'll go and show you more of the mages. Okay, here's throne number 1. It's an R Dominion, so obviously they haven't taken it. Throne number 2, and throne number 3 is underwater, apparently. So we're in a good spot for that. He's pillaging. Everybody else is doing their deal. Okay. Saikva. Okay, so 160 people were killed and 8 gold was confiscated. So we're not talking big bucks here, but every little bit counts. We're going to need to start building castles as soon as we possibly can. And you guys don't have a chance. Come on. You're fighting ghost Roman legionnaires. Okay. So the little flame on a stick here, I guess you would call that a torch, is indicated that we're pillaging. Population's down to 810. Obviously, the higher the population is in a province that you're pillaging, the more damage your pillaging will do. Alator. Sure. We'll go here, and then we'll come back up. That's how we're going to do it. And this has a ton of population, so let's just skip the foreplay and go right there and pillage here instead. Also, you can see that when I don't have a temple or a fortress, I get dispossessed spirits, which are undisciplined, ethereal, sneaky, but otherwise kind of lame. They have 1 hit point, 1 strength. They paralyze. I just throw them at the enemy, finally, because there's so many of them, I don't know what else to do with them. Okay, we have another console. For right now, he's going to call Shade Beasts, but in the meantime, we are going to research one more time, and then next turn, we'll get a regular Lemur Thaumaturg. I think we're looking good otherwise. Yes, we are. Okay. Lost 1, killed 36. That's what I expected. Okay, here come our events. We're supposed to be getting a lot of really good events. 284 gold, I'll take it. Water Gems 1, I'll take it. So we now have enough money for a new castle. So let's build that. And I'm just gonna, I don't care where they are. I'm literally gonna try to build a castle everywhere. And I also need a temple, but he's not a priest, so he can't do that. Plus it takes forever to build a castle, so I'll be able to build a temple in there before it's too late. Okay, here's Man, my enemy. I'm gonna leave him alone for now. You know, I will build some province defense just to keep him honest. And how we doing in terms of army? Oh, we've got a nice little army. Okay. There's our console, Plague Singer. Now, of course, he's not the prophet, so he can't cast the power of the Shadelands. So actually, I made a mistake. What I commanded my prophet to do, I am not going to command the rest of them to do. The rest of them are going to Protection Shadelands, and then they're going to do a whole lot of Unholy Power. Because Unholy Power is power of the Shadelands, but it only affects an area of 5. So, and cast spells. And he will be my control 1. Alright. 70 units. Looks good to me for an expansion army. Attack closest. Don't need to get cute. Put him in there to cast his spell. Okay. Excellent. Let's go up here. Well, let's see, are there knights here? No. Okay, we'll go up there. And we have enough gems now, so we are going to summon a Lemur Thaumaturg. And again, I really wish it was actually a lemur. Like a little lemur with a mage's hat. Oh, that would be awesome. But no, it's just not to be, my friends. not to be. Okay, we're building a castle here. Everybody's... Oh, no, Plague Soul. See, you'll notice these guys, they just appear, call spirits, and which is good, because we're going to need a lot of these guys to move all of our troops that are randomly being generated everywhere around. Okay, Kotel. Let's take a look at this. This is our expansion army. Don't expect too much trouble. Oh, and I learned something new about the battles, by the way. You can zoom in, look at that, in living color. Or if you want to be really cool, you could look down as if you were God, looking down upon these little fighting beings and get a really strategic view of the battlefield. It's a lot of fun. Nove. So we lost... Oh, we didn't even lose it. We gained 2 guys. I like it. And here we didn't lose anything either. So we are rolling already. And let's get... We need to save up some money for our temples. Let's go up here with these guys. And let's just continue. Really? Really? Diseased? Well, I don't really care. He's immortal and he's undead. So diseased schmuzzies doesn't do anything to me. But there must be a disease-causing site here. In fact, it's about time for the big guy here to start site searching. Before we do that, I want to create our biggest mage because he can take over summoning duties from our guy. And by the way, here's our Lemur Thaumaturg. Also sneaky, also ethereal, also chilly, also immortal, doesn't eat, undead. Fear effect of 7, so they cause a lot of fear. And he's a poor amphibian. And he comes with 1 astral to death. Again, I think this is all of them. I don't think there's any randoms there, but we'll see. I don't recruit a ton of these guys, to be perfectly honest. I either recruit the big guys or the little guys. The little guys for research, the big guys for spells and to look cool and summon people. So these guys were the leading mage priests of the Empire and the architects of the Scalarian death cult. So they're the reason for all this mess. This glorious mess that's allowing the ghost of Christmas Future to take over the world. Let's just pump this up a little bit. Okay. Alright. We're looking very good. Let's end the turn. And man declared war on me. Because why not? Worldwide event. Alteration rituals are cheaper. Crinky. We won. Usman. We won. Unrest -6 and gold was 200. I will take it. A mild winter has enabled your traders to travel. What traders? We're an army of ghosts, for crying out loud. Okay. So, looks like man's over here. Where's the third nation? I guess they must be up here somewhere. I see some little black candles. I'm sure we'll be able to say hello to the neighbors soon. Alator, let's get you over here. Oh, I guess there aren't any undersea provinces here. I mean, they're seas, but I guess they're not travelable. Okay. So we have Man and Arco. They just love being beaten by me, Arco. They're masochists. Alright, we're still not there yet. You know why? Because we need 50, count them, 50 death gems for this Grand Lemur. I mean, it is crazy. That's why I said death gems are our lifeblood with this nation. And we will continue to move around and do our thing. Next turn we'll get him. Okay, Burluk. Okay, we're taking some hits here. Okay, this is our expansion army. That's why they're not quite as tough as our previous army. Let's get right into the fight, shall we? Oop. You can see them being paralyzed by the shadows. It turns them gray. And light infantry, they're not liking this one bit. No. I mean, would you, honestly? This reminds me of a animated movie, a cartoon I watched when I was very young. Asterix and Obelisk? It was like these Gauls, these 2 little Gauls that were fighting against the Roman Empire, and there were some ghosts in there, I believe. Also, for more modern audiences, it reminds me of The Lord of the Rings, where the Aragorn, he gets those ghost warriors to fight with him. Okay, resources 25, population -100. Yeah, no biggie. Income +10. Still alteration. Okay, so these guys are getting a little beat up. So I think it's time for us to, well, I'll leave this be for right now, but I'll move up here, then I'll move here, and we'll all kind of converge on the middle and decide what we're going to do next. And we have enough gems now, so the last thing I'm going to do before I call this episode to a close is I'm going to summon our Grand Lemur and allow the Ghost of Christmas Future to start moving around searching for death sites, because we need the gems, and we need the gems bad. Wolf Tribe, okay. We'll send you up against the Wolf Tribe. Well, but it is a throne. I don't know. I don't know. There might be something there I'm just not aware of or ready for. But, oh well. You live and you learn. Okay. We took this one without much trouble. And we took this one with no trouble at all. So I was worried for nothing. 407 gold. Excellent. Unrest, whatever. Independence attacking me, huh? Oops, sorry guys. You probably want to see that. Dire wolves are attacking, huh? Well, it's a good thing that I, This might be a jerk spell. I don't know. Dire wolf, okay. Basically a tough wolf. Those of you who have watched A Game of Thrones kind of know what a dire wolf is. You know, I wonder about these guys' motivation, okay? They're living people who are fighting for a country whose the very air of their dominion kills them. That seems like not a particularly good situation to be in, but I don't know. What are you going to do? Okay. What I need now is I need to move one of my priests, Plague Soul. We'll take all of your... Oh. Oh. This guy is not one of my national troops, so he doesn't recruit Shadow Warriors like everybody else. He recruits Shades. I don't think I want you to do that. Oh, maybe. They're not terrible or anything, but he's going to move down here. He's going to move down here. It must be a wasteland. To build a temple, which is what we need. In fact, we need more than one, to be perfectly honest with you. So, Soul Rend, you're going to go up here as well. And these guys are going to come back and join us in the middle. And here is our Grand Lemur, the spirit of an ancient Scalarian Grand Thaumaturg that has been brought back from the underworld. The souls of these powerful lemurs have broken the cycle of death and rebirth and will return from the land of the dead if slain in battle. Immortal, sneaky, ethereal, chill effect, 9 fear, and they do have some random picks, although this guy seems to have got just astral. But now that he's here, he can pick up from where the Ghost of Christmas Future left off, and he can, once we have more gems, summon some folks. We're not quite there yet. We're getting 20 death gems a turn, well, 15 death gems a turn. We need to discover some sites. We need some more gems, and quickly. So, Ghost of Christmas Future. This is a forest. This is a forest and mountain. Okay, let's try that. Okay. We're getting beat up a little bit here, but we won. Same thing here. Nove? I don't care. Income down. Earth gems +6. I'll just convert them to death gems. And here is Arco. Hello, Arco. Welcome to the party. Alright, so my test game went a little better than this. I don't have much to stop these guys with. I do not want to spend my money on defense here. Down here was a choke point, so I did it there, but really, if they want this so bad, they can have it. My real plan here is to build temples and castles. So that's what I'm going to do. And the Ghost of Christmas Future is going to search for magic sites. Is he going to find any? I don't know. Tune in next time. Thank you for watching. Leave comments. Let me know what you think about this new series. One of the things I'm planning to do is, or one of the questions that I have is, I'm going to do a number of different nations in this. So, should I keep it all on one playlist, do you think? Or should I do a separate playlist for each? It seems kind of silly to me to have a playlist for just 1 or 2 or 3 videos, and then moving on to a different nation. So my inclination is to have it all as one playlist alongside my real LP, which is going to start, like I said, this weekend, and will have its own playlist. But please let me know what you think. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.